Hello and happy holidays. And here's to the new year in 2020. I wanted to take a moment to thank all of you who are friends and family with Willamette Speedway. Most of you, or at least many of you, are like my wife Valerie and I and have grown up in Lebanon. Both of us was born there, and we have listened to and loved the music that Willamette Speedway has provided to us over all these years. I was hoping to wait until the banquet in order to give out information on the 2020 Willamette Speedway season. However, as is pretty common with people, what they don't know, they will soon make up. So instead of having false statement being made and people guessing about what's going on, the brothers Schramm and I want to be as transparent as possible, but still have each of you realize that Willamette Speedway opening in 2020 is not a decision set in stone or a decision that is solely in the brothers Schramm's control. We have to plan for and have contingencies identified in order to open in 2020. So, at this time, we need to recognize how important Willamette Speedway has been to us and others, and more importantly, remains of great importance to a very large congregation of us. There are many stakeholders involved. These stakeholders can be broken into four distinctive groups, and those four groups are certainly blended in some or all of us playing a role in each group. The groups are the drivers and teams, businesses that benefit from the Speedway being open, governmental agencies and service providers, county, municipal, state, utilities, and lastly, my feelings are that this is the most important group, is that group of stakeholders is our loyal army of not only local but worldwide fans. I do not want to state the obvious, but this is how I develop a game plan. Let me explain what I mean when I say that these groups of stakeholders have blended roles. We have numerous businesses that are directly associated to and benefit directly from Willamette Speedway being open. I'm going to use my friend and certainly track ambassador Steve Moore. Steve represents a group that includes others such as Darren Koffel, the Drager family, Jeremy Shank, James Gang, engine builders, and many more. These are just a small sampling of the stakeholders who certainly have at least three roles associated with Willamette Speedway. Trust me, when I compile this list, it's going to be an inclusive one because we're going to need all of these directly benefited businesses as well as the other businesses such as stores, gas stations, cafes, and other businesses that receive some benefit from Willamette Speedway being open. Also, if you expand your thoughts and think about Speedway Motors, Performance Body, parts manufacturers, and all of the major players that I know certainly receive a chunk of my hard-earned money. So back to Steve Moore. Steve is the epitome of a guy that is in the blended role situation. Steve builds race cars, repairs race cars, and maintains race cars that are not only his, but that he gets paid for. Also, Steve is an accomplished driver. He supports Willamette Speedway as a team owner and driver. Steve is also a rabid fan of racing, especially dirt track racing, so much so that he married his wife at Willamette Speedway. So, three separate roles, but all three directly related to Willamette Speedway. When we think about all of the business that are directly benefited by Willamette Speedway, then you have to also consider the money being sent out from these businesses to other businesses that are benefiting from Willamette Speedway. Again, there are parts providers, fuel beer, food services, and memberships that receive money tied to Willamette Speedway being open. I won't continue to flat pedal my throttle on a dead engine here, but understanding these dynamics is important for us as we have a contingency to getting Willamette open in 2020. Now I will update you with what's going on to this point. Willamette Speedway now has a general manager and promoter in place. I've been given the opportunity and responsibility to be the local representative for the brothers Schramm. This was a necessity so that we can begin sorting through the conditions which impact whether or not Willamette Speedway will open in 2020. Many of these conditions are associated with government agencies. I want each of you to know that my background makes me a good candidate for the means of removing the political and governmental conditions. Hopefully in doing so, Willamette Speedway will be opening in 2020. However, we have a long road to hoe. And at this time, the only commitment being made is that Willamette Speedway is managed locally, and we are dedicated to persevere with its opening in 2020. At this point, moving forward, as I get information, I promise that I will get it out to you as quick as possible. Many of you are stating that you're putting car builds on hold, not getting ready to prepare, but I know that each one of you can slam a car together in a week or two. I've done it several times. I know you can do it. It's not much to go on. I apologize. Many of these situations and conditions we're facing are completely out of our control, but as a team, we can impact them. If we need to, 3,000 or 4,000 of us writing letters to county commissioners and department heads will help them make the right decision, which is keeping the oldest venue for entertainment, probably next to the Lynn County Fairgrounds, open. Willamette Speedway is a historical landmark in my mind, and it's been around for a very long time, and it's very near and dear to many of our hearts. I hope to see you all Saturday night on the 28th. We're going to have a good time, get together, and hopefully everybody stays positive. I don't want to hear a bunch of negativity coming out. Let's band together, let's get this track open, and be ready to answer the plea for help, all right? Merry Christmas, and I'll see you Saturday night.